In this video, we're going to learn about identity operators using with Python. So this is how it works. I'm going to explain the concept of identity operator so that you will understand it better. When you go back to your computers and start writing program, you will understand, okay, this is what this identity operator is, and this is how I will work with it. Further notice, I'm not going to write code with you, but I'm going to explain all the theory, all the concept that you need to know for you to be able to understand what is identity operator. And when you are writing program, you know exactly what you are doing. So what is identity operator? Identity operator is one of the type of operator that we have in Python programming language. An identity operator is used to compare two objects. Do you remember the feeling that you get when you see one of your friend that you separated very long time ago since kindergarten? So what do you feel when you will feel like, wow, John, is that you? You will shock. So at that point, what you are trying to do in your brain is you're trying to do this. You are trying to identify, is that who you think it is? If it is, then your brain will return true inside your program, and then you now start surprising and you get check and whatsoever. So also the same thing, identity operator. Identity operator we use to identify two different objects, or I said compare two different objects to see whether those objects are the same. So it's the same thing with when you see one of your friends since from kindergarten, and now maybe you finish graduating university and you just saw him random in the street. So the person you have inside your brain, that's the last or the previous kindergarten object that you know him, and now the new one that you see, you're trying to identify, is that who you think it is? And if it is, well, you're going to return true. So identity operator, we have two types of identity operator. We have is and we have is not. So let's say I created a string. Let's call it string 1, and string 1 is equals to hello. Now inside my string 1, I store this value called hello, and then I create another variable which is string 2, and inside string 2 I set also hello. So what do you think if I set string 1 is string 2? It's like I'm checking, is it string 1 also string 2? It's like, are they the same, string 1 and string 2? Not in terms of value, but in terms of ID. What is ID? So let me explain. Whenever you created a variable or you created an object like string or number or whatsoever is called an object in Python program, and inside your memory is something like this. So each of these blocks inside your memory has a unique number which is called ID. So we can say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the end. So let's say when we create string 1, then our Python program allocate a memory space for this variable string 1, and then it's going to store this hello inside. Then we're going to say, let's say the object is stored here. So the moment we create this object hello, is being already stored here. So when we call this variable is completely referring to this box. So when we call this variable, then our Python program will go on and check what is the ID, and then you're going to see what did we store. You're going to see hello. I hope you understand. And also when we come and created this string 2, when we create this string 2, our Python program is going to check, okay, since we already have hello inside our memory, we don't need to occupy another space. We don't need to come here and create and occupy another new space. That will consume a lot of memory. So Python program is smart enough to notice that we already have hello inside our memory bank. Then it's going to allocate this variable is also going to referring to this object that we store inside our memory. So both of these variable, they are independent, but behind the scenes inside the memory, they are referring to the same value. So since they are referring to the same, when you call this function called id, this function is a Python built-in function. When you call it id inside your Python program, it's going to you're going to see a random, very long range of random integers. That's telling you this is the id of memory. It's not only one to no, you're going to see a very long numbers randomly. So when I call id of string 1, what do you think we're going to see? We're going to see the output of 1. That's in our example, but in programming, in Python programming, you might see something like 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. You're going to see a very long integer. So now when we call this id string 1, we're going to see id of 1. And also if I set what is the id of string 2, also I'm going to see 1. So what do you think if I say string 1 is string 2? Like I said, identity operator, which is this is used to compare the IDs of those variables. So all the IDs, sorry, I said variable object. So all the IDs of this object is 1 1. So that means we're going to see true. So this is the reason why we get true behind our program in Python programming. This is what happens behind the scenes. So what if I just accidentally put 1 inside my string? Now it become hello and hello 1. So since we don't have hello 1 already in our memory, then now Python program will create another memory for this object, which is hello 1. And then this our variable is going to referring to that object, which is our hello 1, since we don't have another hello 1. And then if you check, string 1 is string 2, and at this point, since the id is now different, string 2 is now the id is 2, then we're going to see the output equals to false. So this is what happened behind the scenes. So I hope you understand identity operator is. And what about is not? Then is not is just like confirmation, like it's not string 2. So now we just wanted to confirm, okay, string 1 is not string 2, right? Then the program will say yes, it's not. Then you're going to see the output of true, not false, because yes, they are not the same. You are asking they are not the same, and then the program will say yes, they are not the same, because string 1 has an id of 1 and string 2 has an id of 2. So when you check, is id 1 is id of string 1, is it equivalent, it's not equal to id of string 2, right? Then the program will say yes. So this is identity operator, and I hope you understand what is identity operator. So let's meet our next video in Python program, where we're going to start explanation about flow control in programming. That's where you're going to understand what is if, else, if statement, else if, and all this identity operator, membership operator, logical operator. You're going to see how you can apply them when you come to using flow control. Let's meet our next video.